What's up, Tiger Gang? This is JT from the Poco Moonshine family. Today we got Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, JT?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I couldn't wait to talk to you because
Awesome.
you're a very interesting guy, and I catch your videos popping up all the time, and you just even the hat, man. I'm a fellow hat guy, just like you. Like it's awesome, man. You always got the hat on, so I got mine too.
Sorry, I'm getting a bit of feedback.
Oh, okay, you're all
Okay.
good.
Sorry, I was getting a bit of feedback there. Okay,
Did you hear me?
I'm good. So sorry about that. I didn't hear
No,
you.
you're all
I
good.
didn't hear your question.
Oh no, I was just saying, you're a fellow hack guy like me, man. You're a great guy. I see your videos popping up all the time, and I couldn't wait to talk to you here today.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, speaking of the hat, I've got to the point where I've worn the hat so much, I feel a little bit strange if I take it off.
So
So
it's like you're part of your
it's
YouTube
now a
identity.
basically. Yes, part of my, I mean, even leaving the house now, it's natural for me to put it on. I feel like if
Hmm.
people see me without the hat, they're not going to recognize me anymore, like even friends or whatever, because I've worn it that much. So, yeah.
I've never seen you without the hat, so keep wearing it.
Yeah. I, I'll let you in on a secret. If I take the hat off, I look older than I already do. So that's another reason I keep it on.
Well, you look great, bud. We do have a slight delay, so
Cheers.
just bear with me, okay, bud? Where are you from
Sure.
and where are you at, Dave? How'd you get in Japan? We want to
Uh,
know.
so So I was actually born in Scotland, and that's why I've got this suntan complexion of mine. And but when I was 6 years old, I grew up in Australia. Now I moved to Australia and I grew up in Australia.
Wow.
And around about when would it have been? 1995. I left school very early, so I left school as a 17-year-old, and I found a full-time job that required me to travel a lot internationally. So I traveled internationally for about 3 years. And after I got back to Australia, I lived there for a while and I was feeling like, oh, it's kind of boring being in the same place all the time. And that's what made me decide to eventually move to Japan. I thought I want to try something different, and what's more different than being in Japan? So, and
What
then 17 years later, I'm still here.
what do you what's your favorite part about Japan? What do you love about Japan?
Um, they have an expression in Japan, sumiyasui, which means easy to live here.
Mm.
And I think that's the best thing about living in Japan. It's just simple. Like public transport runs on time. It's like clockwork. You I don't do this anymore, but you can buy beer in vending machines. Like you go to a convenience store and it's more like a department store. It's got everything you ever need. It's real convenient. Does make you lazy, but it's really convenient. It's easy to live here.
That's great. I never heard that expression before, so thanks for teaching me that. What were your struggles like growing
No.
up with food, Dave?
Um, Really just that I could never stop eating.
Mm.
And looking at it now, it's because I was eating the wrong stuff. So, my mum tried to give me the right food, like she was cooking what she thought was best, like meat and veg and stuff like that for dinner and things like that. But um, for me, it was always about the carbs. Like my parents would go out for the day somewhere, and I'd just be at home because I didn't want to go with them, and I'd be like eating a loaf of bread to myself.
Mm.
I'd be like watching the TV and eating a loaf of bread, or I'd be pressuring my dad when he picked us up after school to take us to the convenience store and buy us candy and stuff like that, you know. So it was always just, you know, the carbohydrate, 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 always hungry, always looking for the next hit, literally.
Mm. So like
Mm.
when did you start did you like balloon up in size? Cuz you're yeah, I can't imagine you bigger than you are now, man.
So my size has never been extreme. Like I've never been up to, you know, like uh morbidly obese or anything like that, but I've always been unhealthy, like with the bread, with the alcohol, with the sweets, that kind of thing. I always had this kind of one of those guys that had the skinny legs, and I was always about roughly the same size around the top, but the middle was always just like this beer belly, this barrel looking thing, you know. It was always that kind of
I've had that. Still do.
standing up, you know, people would think, you know, think I was pregnant. So yeah, it was always that.
So what
And of course, before sorry to interrupt. Of course, before I went on this way of eating, you know, my
Mhm.
face was a lot kind of, looking back now, I can see swelling, if you want to call it, in my face, you know.
Mm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what health problems brought you to the carnivore diet?
The what actually brought me to carnivore was the uh the doctor telling me that um I was likely pre-diabetic,
Mm.
and that you know, the alcohol consumption needed to stop, or the next time he was going to be talking to me, it was going to be a much worse message, you know.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I have been low carb and keto on and off for 20 odd years. And I know that when I'm on a way of eating like that, that I do really, really well, especially with self control. And which, unless I'm doing something like that way of eating, I've just got no self control. Like someone gives me a donut, and you know, before long, I've eaten Krispy Kreme out of all their stock. You know,
Mhm.
and so I just thought I've got to get self control, and so I started keto again, and that's what helped me. But also, you know, that helps me find carnivore pretty quickly.
Mm. Do you eat
Mm.
mostly a keto or a carnivore diet throughout the week?
Oh, carnivore now. Like my going on keto lasted a couple of weeks, so maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, I started keto, was doing really well, but I found that I was in the bathroom more than I wanted to be.
Mm.
And it seemed more like very urgent visits to the bathroom rather than just, oh, I need to go to the bathroom now.
Yeah.
And so I watched some videos on YouTube trying to find out what might the problem be. Found a video by Ken Berry. He talked about vegetables and the particular vegetables that I was eating, and said how it contributes to diarrhea and all that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to do something.
Mhm.
So I cut out the vegetables, and the rest is history. I've been carnivore since.
Would you suggest people try keto if they're interested in carnivore, or what would your suggestion be when it comes to keto and carnivore?
Like, I'm not sure I would suggest to anyone they jump straight across um, to carnivore. Um, Mainly because it's going to be a pretty big shock to your body. Having said that, though, like I went across pretty quickly, but I think my body was fat adapted anyway. I think because I'd gone in with keto, and also I think my body kind of just knew what it was doing because I've been keto that many times in my life. Um, that all that said, though, I think it's probably the best way for some people is just to go cold turkey into carnivore. They're
Mm.
going to experience probably a lot of symptoms, like torrential symptoms. But um, I think that for some people, if they don't go all the way, I'm like this myself. If I don't go all the way, like it's all or nothing. Like if some people are like half measure, half measure, half measure, half measure, they'll go, oh, look, this is just annoying. I don't feel like I'm getting where I want to go. I'm just going to give up.
Mm.
So I think ideally you want to probably transition into carnivore, but for some people that's just not going to work.
Mm.
So I think it depends on the person.
That's okay. It's a good answer. What what does like a week of eating look like for you on carnivore, Dave?
So at the moment it's every day, one meal a day. During the week it's 7 a.m. 10 eggs scrambled in lard and topped with about 500 to 600 grams. That's about a pound on beef. And that's it. Other than coffee and water.
Coffee and water. Do you think the
But
coffee's a downfall on the carnivore?
um,
Because you look good. I
I
don't. I
think
don't think it's keeping you from your results. So I just want to know what your
I mean,
opinion is.
if you are talking about like weight loss or things like that, I don't think that's going to necessarily be a negative for that kind of thing. But as much as I love coffee, I'm under no illusions that it's helping me, or it's not damaging things for me. Like for example, sleep and stuff like that. I have given up coffee in the past.
Mm.
It's a long time ago now, but I have given up coffee in the past for months at a time, and I know that my sleep is going to be so much more improved if I don't have coffee.
Mm.
And so there, I'm sure, and as a result, and everything in your body has cascading effects, right? So I'm sure your sleep is interrupted, and so there are other issues. It could be skin issues, or it could be, I mean, eye bag issues. It could be anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's probably a negative for me, a net negative.
How are you sleeping? Are you snoring? A lot of carnivores stop snoring.
I haven't I've never been much of a snorer at all, unless it's been a heavy drinking binge kind of thing. But my sleep is better, but I'm only sleeping about 5 hours a night. So I'm in bed by about 12 and I'm up at about 5.
Yeah, I don't sleep.
And that's weekends too.
Yeah, yeah. I,
Mm.
I I go to bed about the same time, honestly, and it's I feel just fine. So it's not like I'm trying to push
Mm.
myself or anything. I feel more refreshed and can wake up way faster.
Yeah.
What have been some of your favorite benefits you've felt in your body since being on carnivore?
So I mean, where do I start? So there's kind of mind and body stuff. Like the mind stuff is probably the improved sleep and focus is better, concentration's better. The ability to kind of step back and look at a situation more objectively than you were before is a big thing. Like, um, I think I was talking to Lily Kane about this a couple of days ago. One of the things I feel like the best analogy I've got for the way I feel my mind is now is that before I was the firefighter and there's lots of spot fires and I'm just running around putting out all these spot fires and like um you know it's like as I put one out another one starts and another one
Mm,
starts, so I'm just constantly putting out these spot fires, right? But now I'm able to step back and go, hang on a second, maybe it would be better if I went and investigated and found out where the main fire was and put that one out first, and then that might stop the spot fires from occurring.
mm, mm.
Um, so it's kind of like that feeling, kind of standing back. Um, So there's all those kind of things mindset wise. And luckily, I had arthritis in my left knee. That's gone. That's completely gone.
Wow.
That was something that impacted me even when I wasn't moving. So I was, I'd be sitting down. I'd have my leg raised, and it was still like it was just always there. And so, like, there's nothing that compares to that pain going, because it's just like when you, especially when you're moving, it's just like bone grinding on bone. It's
Mm.
awful.
Even if you're
And
sitting, it sounds like it hurts.
so that's gone. Oh yeah, it's terrible. And like stairs, just forget about it, right? It's
Mm.
like, wait for the elevator and wait for the 15 groups of old people to get in the elevator first, but you can go anywhere. Um, and so, there was that. My balance has improved. When I was 17, I had a stroke, and
Really?
having that stroke left me with palsy on my right side. And
Mm.
so that means I limp. That means I've got less strength in my right hand side. That makes me kind of semi ambidextrous now, because my left hand has, been a more dominant hand for bigger percentage of my life now. Um, and so, since I've been on carnivore, my balance has improved, and
Really?
I'm not limping as much, and I'm not as, when I get tired, it doesn't affect my right side as much anymore. And
Mm.
so that's been a big improvement. And these kind of things, it's not like they don't happen overnight. It's not like you wake up one morning and go, hey, look at that, I've got no more arthritis or whatever. It's just, the weird thing about this is that just over time, there's that little improvement, little improvement, little improvement, until one day you're like, it's gone.
Wow.
And I I don't know how long I've been walking around like this and not noticing that the problem's not there anymore.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it's that's been great. I've cleared up some skin issues. I don't have eczema anymore. Um, and like you said, red patches under my eyes, and like rough skin, and that's gone. Um, and yeah, um, there's so many things, but yeah, it's just they come up all the time, and it's like, oh, I didn't realize that, I'd forgotten
Mm-hmm.
about that, or I didn't realize that I could still do, or I could do that anymore, or whatever. So one of the biggest things for me that has been kind of strange is that being on carnivore, your body is kind of compelled to do things. I feel that I wasn't before. For example, um, I'm compelled to move more or exercise more, right? Like if I'm
Mm.
just sitting down, I'll feel like I want to stand up and like move, or I actually want to go to the gym, or I actually want to do push-ups, or I actually want to do things, or I actually want to walk home from work rather than catching the train or something like that. And um, I was walking up some stairs recently, and as I turned around, I turned around, I looked down, I thought, I feel like jumping. And I was like, I've never felt like that, like since I was a kid. And mainly because I couldn't do it. Like I would have hurt myself badly, because especially with the arthritis, that would
Mm.
have hurt my left knee. With my balance issues, I would have like gone like that to the side when I hit the ground. And I thought, I wonder if I could do it. And so I jumped, and it was like, wow, this is amazing. And there was no pain, there was no, like there was no, you didn't hit the ground and go, oh, the shock absorbers aren't working still, or anything like that. It was just like, felt so smooth. So yeah,
That's
there's
amazing.
lots. Yeah.
Man, I love hearing all of it. Let's get to a couple comments before we get too behind. There's a zillion here. Let's go. Oh wow, yeah, we got a bunch here. Wow. Yeah. Oh, new member of Carnivore Transformer. Thanks, bud. Charger Mopar, Rick, Dave, the funny carnivore whose first interview was me. He's among the finest carnivore influencers. Dave, you are an influencer, bud, because you're a likable guy, and you got that carnivore glow that the rest of them got too.
Cheers.
Kip, I desperately needed this live stream tonight. I fell off the wagon this weekend, brother. Brother, you can get back on there, right, Dave? He can get back on there.
Get back on the wagon. Just yeah, Kip. I feel you, but just get back on the wagon. It's happened to me so many times, but yeah, the best
He
thing is
says he
just
feels like
keep
a
going.
newbie starting back over. I mean, kids, just look at it like our kids, man. They fall down and they just get right back up, and it's nothing to them. They just get right back at it.
Yeah.
Oh, Lucia, she says, I love those hats. Yeah, it's hat gang in here tonight, man.
Cheers, Lucia.
Hey, if you guys have a question for Dave while he's here, could you please put a Q in front of it so it's a little easier for me to read the questions? Don Morrison, hey Dave, it's Don in Maine. How you doing?
Hey Don, how you doing?
Yeah, if you guys, like I said, you got a question, he's live in the flesh right now, so make sure you ask a bunch of questions. I got some more questions for you regardless. I just want to make sure we get a couple. Good
Hey
morning.
Matthew. We got there's one at 8:18 Eastern from Running Tap 12.
Miss
Hey,
Perfectly
Mrs.
Imperfect
Perfectly
Keto.
Imperfect Keto.
Carnivore Kip, yeah, sending you positive vibes. Yep, Kip, you got this. You got this, brother, man. Don't. The only time I think we fail, man, is when we give up. Because Edison, he made the light bulb wrong about 4,000 times before he got it right 4,001. So just I look at his failures as data. Like they tell you what not to do now, and then you don't do that again, and then you just keep improving off those failures, those data. Good evening
Yeah,
from Copper
all
Hill,
those
Tennessee.
failures are just constraints to drive you to the ultimate success, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got it. You got it. Let's see. I want to see if we got any
Hey
questions here.
Richard.
Look for some cues here. Great content. Steaks over cakes. Yep.
Hey Jeff.
Yes. He's not playing around out here. He's on carnivore diet. And hey JT. Hey Dave. Dave, they like you.
Hey.
Let's see. I'm looking for some. Oh, right here. Former Facker, I'm a new subscriber to your channel, enjoying it so far. Nice. Yes, you guys, there's just so much positive people, so many positive people in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel so great after my meal today. 6 hard-boiled eggs as an entree, then 2 pounds of ribeye for dinner, and 2 ounces of beef heart, and topped with a nice layer of beef tallow. What's your favorite cut of beef, Dave?
Yeah. Favorite kind of beef. I don't know. Like, if I'm going into a nice restaurant, what do I? Maybe porterhouse or something like that. Porterhouse steak.
Porterhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, get back on track. You can do it, man. Have you ever tried Lion Diet, Dave?
I haven't. No.
No?
I do want to try it one time. I think yeah, it might need to be after I come back from Australia, but yeah, I'd like to give it a go.
Hey, time traveler.
Hey, time traveler.
And everybody's in here. Hello from North Carolina. How you
Yeah.
doing, Natasha?
Hey, Natasha.
Oh yeah, we got okay. You got pork chops in the oven. Nice, nice.
Oh, nice.
Dave, what's the temperature over in Japan now? There we go. Send us some questions for Dave, guys.
So it was 35 degrees yesterday. So 35 degrees Celsius. So let me just do a quick conversion.
Yeah.
35 Celsius to Fahrenheit is 95 degrees Fahrenheit yesterday. I don't know what the heat index was like, but it felt crazy hot compared to that actual temperature. Like the sun, you couldn't stand in the direct sunlight at all because it would just burn it, like it's just instant burning you. It was so
Mm.
extreme, and the humidity is really high here. So it probably felt about, 110 degrees.
Uh, Made quarter pound smash burgers topped with half a pound of bacon, butter, and cheddar cheese. Just finish it. Nice. That actually, man, you're making me
That
hungry.
sounds awesome. That sounds really good.
It does sound good. Okay, we got a question for you, Dave. Were you eating too much fat in keto, or was it the fiber heavy veggies, Dave?
It was the well, I think it was the fiber, but I think also like as in that video that I watched by Ken Berry, like he actually singled out the vegetables that I was eating.
Mm.
So nightshades. So I was eating spinach, but which is probably not the best thing to be eating. And I was also
Unless you're
eating,
Popeye.
yeah. And I was also eating like red peppers and yellow peppers because I was
Mm.
thinking, oh, it's got vitamin C in there. Someone told me it's got vitamin C and I need vitamin C. So I'm going to eat these. But Ken Berry was saying, the nightshades, they are particularly bad
Mm.
as far as, stomach upsets and things go. So just cut them out and then it was all gone.
I just realized Popeye. That's another one of them. I
But
grew up, and they tell you your veggies are good for you, and he wasn't eating steak, man. He had spinach all the time.
yeah, yeah. I will say though that like, being on carnivore has made me also understand like how I can kind of balance the bathroom visits by the amount of fat that I include in the meal. So
Yeah.
I always know when I put too much fat in there. So I've kind of found, the happy medium.
Okay. Yeah, but you don't want to like Bubba. I had him on. He says you don't want to have buckshots coming out at the back end. So you add a little bit more
Exactly.
fat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got to go. It's a delicate balance.
Hmm. That's one thing I would say. That's probably the most thing I think about on carnivore is just did I have enough fat? Is this thing gonna fire out like a buckshot? Or oh, she says
Hmm.
carnivore lollipops right there, lamb chops.
No.
They sound like carnivore lollipops. Yeah, you guys put a Q in front of the questions. It's just a little easier for me to find them. What do you think about caffeine, Dave?
I think like yeah, I mean caffeine I think affects people differently depending on a lot of factors. Like I've been drinking caffeine basically since I was 5 years old. And, and I think I've built up a tolerance to it, so for me it's only going to affect my sleep if I drink caffeine, if I drink a strong coffee, after like 8 o'clock at night.
Hmm.
If I have a coffee before that, I'm not going to be affected. But yeah, if it's 8 o'clock and I'm feeling like a coffee, I'll be like, no, probably not a good idea.
That's good advice. Carnivore Kip, don't forget to donate to the Carnivore Diet movie if you can. Yes, absolutely. I've got Kip, I've got the promo up here and trying to do my part here. Thank you too, man. Let me put that back up here. Um Whoops here. Rick here. You have to remember to check all participating channels. Shout out, man. Rick, man, 40 years. Isn't that crazy, Dave?
It's amazing, yeah.
That number blows my
But
mind
I
every
mean,
time I hear it.
it just goes to show, though, right? Like when Rick got started, as far as he was concerned, he was heading for a heart attack, right? Because that's what everyone tells you.
That's what they told him. Yeah.
And if you follow the regular advice about nutrition, then of course you're going to believe that too. But
Mm.
yeah, years kind of proves that theory wrong.
Yeah, Rick is living proof, you guys. Like, he's the man. I can't wait to interview him. David, he says, is exercise necessary to losing weight on carnivore? What do you think about that, Dave?
I don't think it's necessary. I think exercise is good, but my job is sedentary. I've never done an active job. Um, and my feeling always is that your weight is determined by what happens in the kitchen. It's got nothing to do with how much exercise you do. If it was
Mm.
to do with how much exercise you do, then we wouldn't have an obesity problem, because the first thing that people think about when they want to lose weight is, I need to get to the gym. And you get these people going to the gym and sweating and running on a treadmill for an hour every day, and 2 months after doing that, they give up. Why do they give
Mhm.
up? Because they're not getting any results, because it's all to do with the food. It's nothing to do with the exercise.
Yeah, look at
Exercise is
Anthony
a
Chafee.
complement.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah, and like Anthony Chafee was saying on a live, that he doesn't have time to do the exercise he wants to do now, but the muscle stays there. The his weight doesn't go up.
mm.
It's.
It's about the
Mm,
nutrition.
mm.
Hey, Cindy. She says hello to Rick. Yes, you guys. Kay, you're right. Smash that like button because that's what helps Dave's story get out there. More people can hear his story. They can relate to him. They can find the light in their life and get their results too. But we can only do that if people get their story out there. So it's very important that you guys like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Just keep supporting each other, everybody. Like subscribe to as many dang carnivore channels as you can. It just keeps all the momentum that we have going, especially for this documentary. And Kip was right, you guys. If you can make a donation to the documentary, I do have the GoFundMe link in the description of all the Chatting with Carnivores. Um, that documentary is pretty much what inspired me to start chatting with carnivores, and just keep raising the awareness, keep spreading people's stories, and like Dave, like he's a beacon of light out here. Yeah, okay, here Don says he lost 38 pounds in a year and didn't exercise once. So Dave is not
Mm.
steering you wrong. Okay, here we go. We got a question. Easy to tell here. Do either of you do cold shower thing? No, I take a nice just a lukewarm, sometimes even a hot shower if I'm kind of cold, but otherwise no, I never take cold showers. I think they'd shrivel up my will nuts, or my will knots, as Bubba would say.
I don't do cold showers. Yeah, uh, yeah, no.
No. David says I am retired and don't even walk a lot. Yeah, it's
Mm,
like, if do you, man, like if your body's telling you that you're pacing around the house and you want to go for a walk, go for a walk. Do what your body says is telling you. Dave, do you feel like you're
yeah.
more in tune with what your body says now on carnivore than you were before?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Um, and yeah, like regarding exercise, if you're not feeling it, don't do it. As you alluded to, if you're not feeling it, don't do it. If you're not hungry, don't eat. If you are
Mm,
hungry, eat. It's all that, like, just listen to what your body's telling you to do. Of course, when I say eat, I don't mean eat, a loaf of bread and candy, or something like that. Like, eat carnivore food, or at least
mhm.
keto food. But um, you know, just listen to the signals from your body. If you don't feel like doing it, don't do it.
What are some, while we're going through some comments here, what are some like a tip or two that you could give like a beginner carnivore?
For a beginner, I would say, number one thing is, stop worrying about measuring things. Don't worry about, am I having enough fat? Am I having enough protein? What about this? What about that? What about the next thing? Just eat. As long as you're eating like meat and eggs, just eat until you're full and stop eating. And if you get hungry again, eat again. You don't need anyone's permission to do it, right? Like, I'm eating one meal a day. Other people are eating 2 meals a day. Other people are eating 3 meals a day. just eat like, and we're all getting results, right? We're all getting good results. It's not about how much you're eating or whatever. Just we're eating because we're hungry, and then we stop when we're not.
Mm,
And it just happens that I've found that one meal a day seems to be working okay for me at the moment, but that doesn't mean I'll always do it.
yeah,
So I would say that's probably the best advice to getting started.
I like that advice. Do you do electrolytes, Dave?
No. I tried Element once and I wasn't like I kind of felt like not much difference or no difference at all. And also the fact that there's not actually the recommended daily intakes in it anyway, you have to make it up other ways. So I
Mm,
just kind of thought, well, I'm not going to worry about it. And then if I ever get a muscle cramp here or there, I try and add a bit more salt into my meals.
add some more salt. Do you go for the
Mm.
Redmonds? Redmonds real salt?
No, I haven't tried Redmond's yet. No, I try and just get like a Himalayan salt or something from the import shop.
Does that have like extra minerals in it or something? Or
Yeah, it's like it's got meant to have more magnesium and potassium or whatever in it. So
would you suggest resistance bands?
resistance, would I suggest resistance bands? I don't know.
Yeah,
Can't do any it can't harm you, I guess.
right.
I've never tried it, so I can't recommend one way or the other, to be honest.
Yeah, I've done
But
resistance bands maybe once or twice. Let's
and how was it?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's all right. Um what would you I want to know, would you tell us what your doctor thinks? What does your doctor think?
So the last time I went for a physical, uh, I was really excited about, telling the doctor about this because I thought, I want to get into some kind of dialogue with the doctor. He might not agree with everything, but, I just want to kind of see what he says and that kind of stuff. And so I started to tell the doctor about it. I'm only eating meat, I don't eat carbohydrates, blah, blah, blah. And the doctor was just, mm, that's dangerous. You need to eat a balanced diet. Oh, really? And I thought I'm not getting into it. Like I'm not going to try and argue with this guy. Like it'd be bad enough if he was a native English speaker, but like trying to argue with a Japanese doctor is just not going to go down well. So I just left it.
So you but you know your body though, right? You would know if you're not headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, so this is the thing as well. Like, let's say that there is still the prospect of you having a heart attack on this diet. Like,
Hmm.
let's say, right? Um, I would still do it because I feel better than I ever have before in my life. At 48 years old, I feel better than I ever have. And you're trying to tell me that a regular diet is not going to cause a heart attack.
Right.
The only it's yeah. Um, I think if I feel this good, it can't be that bad.
Yeah, Rick was saying, he would rather feel good every day and maybe have a heart attack one day than feel like crap every day. And and then what quality of life do you have? When you literally poisoning yourself every day, but you can say, well, it's standard American diet. Don't get on me.
Yeah, yeah. You eat these fruity pebbles fortified with vitamins and minerals, you'll live to 90. And it's like, yeah, but I
Yeah.
won't be able to stand up.
Yeah, they didn't tell you that part. Hey, Scott, a question. How much time do you both devote to making content? You want to go first?
um, Most of my stuff's pre-recorded. And I would probably say all up of 4 hours a day.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's more than I
But
do.
2 hours of that is when I'm on. 2 hours of that is on the train, so it's kind of I wouldn't be using that time anyway. So
Yeah, that's more.
yeah. How
You know,
about
if
you?
I have 2 interviews in a day, I might do 2 hours, but otherwise, just vlogging and then editing, maybe hour and a half. You know, doing thumbnails, maybe hour and a half,
Mm,
2 hours. If I add in the thumbnails, it'd be 2 hours. But I like doing it, so it's
yeah.
I get to talk to guys like Dave, so I really don't mind making a thumbnail. Amber and Dan, they got a question. I'm still on the road to healing in my journey. So far, the pain in my knees is gone. Just waiting for the cartilage to repair itself. How long before you noticed it wasn't bone and bone anymore?
It's hard to put an exact time on it because it's like again, it's one of those things where it was just like suddenly one day I was like, oh, this doesn't hurt anymore, and I don't remember what the last time it did. Um, but I think it was about 3 or 4 months in that when I noticed,
Hmm.
like, oh, there's no pain anymore at all. Um, Following that, there was times when I'd be walking up the stairs. Like now, before I could only walk up the stairs holding the handrail and one at a time and kind of sideways, so then I wasn't bending my knee as much.
Hmm.
But there was times after that about 4 months when it was feeling good when I'd still get twinges as I was walking up the stairs, but that was the point that I was doing kind of two stairs at once and I was no longer having to hold on to the handrail. And um, those twinges were kind of a good thing because it was reminding me, okay, so I need to stick to this diet because this has improved so much. I don't want to go back to what it was like. It was just
Hmm.
this like little reminder. Hey, remember this? Remember me? Remember me? But and that probably took another maybe 3 months for that to dissipate.
That's great. That's a good answer.
Mm.
What about beef tongue, Dave?
That's delicious. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, that's very popular in Japan, and often I have that when we go to a yakiniku restaurant.
What you were mentioning before the stream, we were talking. You were eating, what was it, oxtail or?
Kangaroo tail,
Oh,
well,
kangaroo tail.
kangaroo.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's what
So,
it was.
yeah, we were talking about before we started. We were talking about strange kind of foods. We are talking about how, well, like all carnivores basically have the same um, focus, but it's very interesting when you talk to people and you find out about the different kinds of meats and stuff that they're eating.
Hmm.
And so I talked about kangaroo and like kangaroo and emu and ostrich. They're all really nice. The only problem with them is if you eat them, you're going to have to add a lot of fat in, like a lot of butter or something into it because they're kind of very, very lean meats.
One
And
thing you did mention, you said you wanted to go visit a kangaroo restaurant, right? Where they served kangaroo.
yeah, so I'm planning to be in Australia in about a month from now. And so I might have to do a video about, I might try and visit somewhere that serves kangaroo or emu or something like that and see if I can get that on tape.
That would
Yeah.
be awesome. I would want
Yeah.
to check that out. Hey, here we
Yeah.
go. Hello from Melbourne. Oh, did I say that right?
Melbourne.
Melbourne, Australia. Yeah, okay.
I guess it's difficult as well because you have a Melbourne in Florida, right?
There's probably Melbournes all over the place. I just don't have one here in
Yeah.
Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that near, like,
Yeah,
where are you
Melbourne,
going
Australia.
to Australia?
I'm going to Sydney because the
Ah.
event I'm going to is in Sydney, but I'm actually from Melbourne. So,
Oh, really?
she
Okay.
carnivore cat lover. If you know where Berwick is, that's where I'm from. I used to live in Berwick and work in Burke Street and
Hmm.
Collins Street.
That's
Hmm.
awesome. See, we're learning a lot about Dave tonight. I'm on the Lion Diet. Have you tried Lion Diet, Dave?
No, I'd like to, but haven't yet.
I did it for
Yeah.
2 days and I went back to the eggs
S-
and bacon. I couldn't give up the eggs yet.
So I worry about giving up the eggs. That's the main reason I haven't tried it. I worry about giving up the eggs because for me, the eggs are a little bit like what bread or rice were to me before when I was doing a regular diet. It's like
Mm.
filler, or it's like, that kind of the side dish with the food.
If you could have your eggs only served one way the rest of your life, which way would it be?
Scrambled. Yeah,
Me too.
definitely
Me too.
scrambled. Yeah.
You're gonna run a 5K one day. That's awesome, Kip, dude. I hope you
Oh,
vlog
nice.
that. I'll be there support you, man. That's a great goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have goals out here. You really do, man. Otherwise, like
Yeah.
where if you're just on a ship, and you're a captain and you don't got a destination, like what are you doing? You're just floating around. So I feel like a goal is a nice destination setter for your ship. William,
Yes.
remember to hit the like button, guys. Yes, because the more people that
Yes.
smash that like button, we got
Thank you.
98 of you. That would be awesome to see 98
Wow.
likes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see 98 likes for Dave and his story, man, because this guy's been all over. Now he's in Japan putting it down, and who knows who could relate. He might even start a trend in Japan if we get enough likes on this video. You know what I'm saying? Ground beef mince
That's
is really
a that's
just
a
a lot of
video I'd like to
what's that? What video?
let That's a video I'd like to put together. Is like kind of just going out in Japan and interviewing people and asking them, "Have you heard about the carnivore diet?" And then when they go, "What's that?" And just seeing their expressions when you tell them, "No
Yeah,
vegetables, no rice, no."
what
Yeah,
Japan thinks of the carnivore diet. That would be an awesome. I'd watch that, Dave.
yeah.
You've
Mm.
got the content out there, man. I'm telling you. Question, I missed the beginning. How long were you keto before going carnivore?
A few weeks. But before that, like the first time I ever went low carb was in 2000. I discovered the Atkins diet in 2000, and since 2000, I've been on and off keto or low carb, since then.
What's your
So
thoughts on
my body
Atkins?
was kind of somewhat fat adapted. I think honestly, I would say the first level of Atkins, I mean, that's almost the original carnivore to an extent. I
Mm.
mean, he was letting you put in about, I think, 10 grams of carbs or something. I can't remember what it was. But, I mean, basically, he was saying, eat the bacon, eat the eggs, eat the steak, whatever you want, put the butter on everything, and, you're going to do well. So, yeah, I think honestly, he's severely underappreciated, and people have bashed him so much. Like the anti keto people, or the
Mm.
anti carnivore type people that bashed him so much. He deserves a what is it, posthumous medal.
Posthumous medal.
Yeah.
You got the lingo. Hey, Carrie, Homestead How, two of my favorite
Hey,
carnivores.
Kerry,
How you doing,
how you
buddy?
doing, Kerry?
Man, get that golf cart primed up when I get out there on September 5th, man. I was riding around a golf cart today at the Shalom Zoo in West Bend. And man, it was my first time riding well, it wasn't a go-kart, but it was a golf cart, and man, that was fun just riding up and seeing all the different carnivores, man. I was watching the tigers. There's two tigers playing with this big old blue rubber
Oh,
ball.
wow.
I
Oh,
got
no.
footage of
Oh,
it. Yeah,
it's
and they
like
were
a
just
safari
leaping and
park, or
it's a yeah, it's like they're all they're not caged in with the top. All the cages are just
oh, awesome.
and you drive around with the golf cart and there's some of the parents are drinking on the golf cart. It was kind of fun, man. I wasn't drinking, but
That sounds great.
yeah, but that was my first time and yeah, my favorite is checking out the tigers. It's my favorite carnivore here.
That's not a dangerous combination at all. Tigers, alcohol, and golf cart.
Yeah, yep, yep. Yeah, no, no. It went fine though. I've got the vlog. It'll be coming out. 3 with Kip in the crowd. Yes, dude. Kip, man. Kip, I got to get you on chatting with carnivores because you've got a great story, man, and you're a beacon of light, buddy,
Hmm.
and people really look up to you. And we got to keep sharing these stories. Time traveler buckshots. Yes, if you don't have enough fat in your diet, you will produce some buckshots into the toilet, and you might even crack the
Hmm.
porcelain, guys. So make sure you get enough. Make sure you get enough in you, man. What are you drinking there, Dave?
Just sparkling water.
Sparkling water?
I'm kind of addicted to the sparkling water these days. I've got about a gallon of sparkling water every day.
Wow. What about
Um,
sunburn? They said they're very sun tolerant. Do you get any sunburn
mm.
over there in Japan, Dave?
So I'm natively Scottish, which gives me some unique melanin. Um,
You're funny,
so
dude.
I have always sunburned, like even after 5 minutes in the sun. Like if I let me tell you a story about this, right? So my friend that I went to school with,
Mm-hmm.
he ran for state parliament in Victoria when I lived in Melbourne. And so the day he was elected, like, I don't know, 20 something years ago, I was out handing vote cards for my friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a cloud, it was completely overcast day, cloudy, raining at points, no sun at all. I got home that night and I had the worst sunburn I've ever had in my life. And I never
Really?
saw the sun. That's how,
Wow.
you know. So I think I feel a bit better in the sun these days, but I'm a little bit scared still, because I'm taking it very slowly with my exposure just because of my past experiences.
Yeah, if you guys want to send him any sunscreen, it sounds like he could still use it from time to time. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, Kerry from Homestead, how my guy, my brother, he's got a question. Dr. Barry is participating in the 24-hour live stream. Yes, you guys, it's not just a 24-hour live stream, it's a record breaking. Like we're probably gonna go longer than 24 hours, right, Kerry? What would your top question be for Dr. Barry, Dave?
My top question for Dr. Barry. Um,
Good question, Kerry. You got
that's
him
a
looking
really
up.
good question.
Yeah, you got him
Oh,
when he looks up, man, he's
what
really
would I
searching
ask
his
him?
mind.
What would I ask Dr. Barry? Um, I don't know. Maybe I have to put a pin in that one and come back to it. I've got to,
Yeah,
off
we'll
the
get
top of my head, the first thing that comes to mind would be, um, if you could sum up in one sentence a convincing argument for why someone should try carnivore, what is it?
mm, that's a good one.
And yeah,
I'm
just
sure
to give
Dr.
everyone
Barry
a
would
little
have it.
kind of thing to a kind of little thing to say to anyone who's kind of pushing back about the idea of carnivore.
That's a great idea, man. Because if anybody's got the answers, it's the doctors. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
What would you say personally?
What would I say?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm kind of copying this from something I heard on a video, but I would say, well, you don't have to believe that it works. You don't have to believe anything about it. Just try it for 60 days, and you're not going to want to go back because you're going to feel so good. You're not going to want to go back.
That's a good.
You know,
That was
you'll
my
be a
selling point.
believer.
Yeah,
Yeah, you will become a believer. You don't have to believe it now. Just try it.
I was a believer after about 27 days when I quit smoking pot. Man, I was like, dude, what? Like, I just have no urge to smoke anymore. It just literally became a
Mm,
habit. And once you realize, like ketchup, I was telling you guys, I was telling you before the stream, like ketchup, it took me 2 weeks into my carnivore diet. That was the only sugar I was getting was ketchup, man. Because it was built in my paradigm from a child. I always ate my burgers with ketchup. That's just what I did, man, and it's like, you ever like there's like a big game and some people they'll crack a beer or pop open the chips or something, it's just like it's just built into you to do that. They're like, why does watching a big game make you want to crack open a beer or open the chips? Like, what does that got to do with? And why do I need ketchup with the burger? So as soon as I
mm.
thought about it, I was like, why? And I just dropped it. When do we get the links for 24-hour stream? I'm sure it's coming. Carrie is working like a dog on it. I know that because I see him on the base camp every night. So very true. What I focus the most is healing carnivore has provided me for almost 8 months. Yeah, I feel
Mm.
like the what would you say, Dave, too, that the health benefits or outweigh the body fat loss, you know, the number on the scale going down. I feel like that's more important to how you feel.
So yeah, I agree. I would say my own personal experience, and from all the carnivores that I've spoken to, um, everyone sees the health benefits and the way they feel as the primary thing now. They may have started it for weight loss, but they see this as the primary thing. And now the weight loss is just a secondary benefit.
Mm, mm.
Mm.
Carrie says that Rick, it's coming next week. I I do want to pull up your channel here. You guys, let me pull up Dave's channel here. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Dave's channel. This dude is just killing it, man. Look, he's got the hat right there too. He's all about the hat life, man. He does not play. Okay. And look at this 41,000 subscribers, man. You're just smashing it, dude. And you guys join, become a member, subscribe. He's got great videos. I mean, he's really catchy with the titles and the thumbnails. Like, you're not going to be disappointed if you subscribe to Dave's channel. And that should tell you right
Oh,
there,
cheers. Thanks for the plug.
no carb life, man. Like, if that doesn't sum it up, man, I don't know what does, you know?
Yeah. And it just the journey is it's gone so fast. I can't believe that it's been more than a year now. Not about the channel, but about just diet wise. I can't believe more than 1 year has passed, and like I I I can't even remember what it was like to have a drink of alcohol, to have a taste of ice cream or whatever, or like I feel sick walking past a bakery now because of the smell, you know.
It's strong.
It's been amazing. Mm.
Do you feel like I feel like now when I even smell sweets just that are just around me, like my cheeks get all tart now. Like, it's just wild. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
sensitive now to sugar. It's amazing.
Mm. Yeah, same. It really that's a good way of saying it. It's so sensitive to everything about sugar, the smell and everything. Yeah.
Kip, I'm so thankful
Mm.
for this community. Love y'all. Yep. I'm telling you, it is a
Yeah.
great community, man. You guys are the best, man. That's why we're gonna get this documentary made, man. Like, this small little group of carnivores is gonna shine. It's we keep coming together. We're one little bead of light, you know, and then we keep getting brighter and brighter together. And pretty soon we're gonna illuminate all the darkness that everybody's in about the diet that they're on and the diet that they could be on, carnivore diet.
Mm.
Yeah, I used to think that you had to be healthy before exercising, not after. Yeah, I feel like my body didn't even want to exercise until I had the proper nutrition. Now I'm like doing circles in the house and like my arms are begging me for the dumbbells.
So I think
I don't trust the fart. Yeah.
every yes, that's very good advice for beginners. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um I think one of the things with exercise and nutrition and everything around that is we have it all backwards, because we're always every part of our lives we have to struggle to achieve something. If it's in business or work or raising children or whatever it is, it's always a struggle to get to raise something up, whether it's getting a promotion, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of take that and translate that across to diet and nutrition and exercise, right? And it's like, well, I have to suffer if I want to be thin. I have to suffer if I want to put on muscle. That's just the way life works. And
It's
it's
not
not
really true though.
necessarily the case.
Mm.
Mm.
Do you got any last, you guys? Dave does have to run. His daughter is feeling a little under the weather. So he has to wrap it up in about a minute here. So any last thoughts for the crowd here, Dave? We got 97 people. They should smash that like button for sure.
Uh, uh, Probably most of the people watching this are either keto or carnivore, but if you're on the fence, give it 30, 60, 90 days and you will no longer be on the fence anymore.
That's great advice. You guys, I had fun with Dave here. I had a blast. Thank you guys. There's so many comments we couldn't even get through them all. Maybe on Dave, you're gonna come back for an update?
Oh yeah, anytime.
Okay.
Happy to come back.
Cool. Okay, you guys, that's it for us. We're on the way out. We'll see you guys. Love you guys. Peace.